to this computer. Yeah, recording is in progress. Here we go. Okay. First of all, thanks everybody for joining in yet again for one of these. I am going to try to do these every couple of weeks with the masterclass coming up and shit like that. It's going to be a little bit busier as it's to be expected. So here we go. Top-down analysis. So because we are like breaking substantial 15-minute, sorry, if I just go to the 15, you can kind of see that we've broken all kinds of demand levels on the way down. That tells me that more than likely this is like a 4-hour swing low. This is probably a 1-hour swing low. So in this case, you know, it's kind of like read between the lines. You got to be able to, can't see anything, black screen. Okay. Can everybody else see my screen? Yeah. Okay, cool. I can't cater to every single person, man. You guys got to figure it out. I mean, there's nothing wrong with my settings. Okay, so ultimately, when you see price action like this, where we've, like I said, broken a bunch of 15-minute supply and stuff like that, there's a potential that it's a trend reversal. So what I'm looking for is I'm going to jump over to the 4-hour, and I just want to see what's going on in terms of, okay, we've broken this most recent demand. Where did we break demand from? We broke it from up here. So now that we're tapping into some sort of demand zone, what I'll probably do is just work from the 4-hour, maybe go down to the 1-hour and just see what's going on. But ultimately, we're reacting to this demand here that broke this structure. So I will mark the 1-hour so that I can refine it down to the 15. So this is the only time I will really do this. It's just to give me a little bit more clarity as to what's going on the 15-minute. So of course, the 15-minute is primarily where I'm using all of my analysis, and I probably could do this all from the 15, but it's just good to give yourself a kind of like a reference point so that you can kind of refine this a little bit further. And if you do that, now you can kind of see that we have, you know, this candle sitting right here that we could refine this down to the candle right before the momentum kicked in. Now it looks, I'm pretty sure, that as if we've broken through it. So right now, demand's only job was to hold, right? So on the 15-minute, because we've looked below, you know, this is still a break of structure. The way that I see this, could I be wrong? Of course. You know, there might be some unmitigated demand on a lower time frame in one of these wicks kind of thing. But ultimately, to me, this is a break, because demand's only job when you get to this level right here is to hold and take out this supply. Okay, it's not a complicated analysis. Technically, we've wicked below it. On FXCM, it didn't wick through. Well, I use Oanda, so if it didn't do it on yours, I don't know what to really tell you. This is the data feed that I use. Do you have it refined down to this level right here? This is totally up to you. Did on mine also. Anyways, unfortunately, this is what I use, guys. I use Oanda for you know, my own reasons, and yeah, just follow along, right? So ultimately, at this point, if you're scared, that's fine. We're more than likely going to be looking for longs anyways. It's just to illustrate what's going on, because we're pulling back, and as soon as we break this structure point, we're going to be looking for some sort of potential demand trade. So at this point right here, let's go down to the 5-minute. Okay, let's look at what's going on. So right now, agree or disagree that at this point right here, okay, we've basically mitigated this wick and put ourselves down into new lows, right? So the 5-minute structure is right here, right? This is exactly where we are basically showing our hand to potentially, there's only two options here. I always say this, guess what? We're at supply, right? This supply put us into this demand, or potentially, depending on how you look at it, broke this demand, right? So if that's the case, right now, we can't be taking, I guess we could technically take a change of character at this level on the 1-minute and then take this to wipe out this low. But right now, all we're going to do is kind of wait and see what's going on the 1-minute here. So if that's the case, let's go over to here. You can see, you know, this is sort of refined down to, oh shit, wrong button. You could refine this to here. You could refine this to here if you'd really like. Totally up to you on how you would do it. Yeah, 1-minute break of structure, but here's the thing. You could have taken this long, maybe in this region right here. You know, we broke structure. Where do we break it from? Well, we broke it from this area right here. that's fine. This is already mitigated. This has already been, I mean, like, if you look at the 5 minute, okay, this is already mitigated. This is, you got to remember what's going on here, okay? Don't overcomplicate things. Look at this right here. This right here is what caused this to fail right here, okay? That's the bottom line. That's where it sits right now. That's exactly what we're reacting to. So if we start taking out levels of demand, such as this one right here from this supply area, who's in control of the market? Supply or demand? Thank you. Yeah, I mean supply. I mean, if we start taking, like, look at the trend. Okay, like, could we pull up to here? For sure we could. But here's the thing, if we start breaking demand levels, which we just did, by the way, now we have a demand wick. If we start breaking this, guess what? We've now created supply to take out the low, because you have to remember, if we are breaking and we have a change of character on the 1 minute chart, okay? We have a change of character at a supply zone right here that put us into here, and we can't break above while respecting demand. Guess what? Demand's not in control, supply is. Okay, I'm going to be taking a trade in about 2 minutes. I have a really good feeling. We got liquidity. We have a demand zone that's sitting right here. So let's look at what this looks like on the 5 minute, this area right here, right? Because this is potentially a 5 minute demand zone. This is all mitigated. We have a wick here. There's really nothing here. Because we're aligned with the higher time frame with what's going on, this has been tapped into by this. I mean, I'm looking for sells, okay? That's what I'm doing. But right now, because we're in this demand wick, I can't really take sells just yet. Yeah. What about that? I mean, yeah, there's a, okay, let's go like this. Okay, look at, this is mitigated. Yeah, there's a demand zone right here, but let's think about this, okay? If we, like, I would ultimately be looking for something. I'm not going to be looking for sales yet because we're reacting to this. But when we come down into here, show some sort of reaction that fails to take out a supply level, and then we break through, guess what? This is already part, like, yes, this small candle right here is not mitigated. But if we've broken 1 minute demand, 5 minute demand, do you think this little dinky fucking demand level down here is going to hold when we're aligned with the higher time frame and we've broken several amounts of structure from a supply zone at the actual peak of market structure? So that's what you need to consider at this point. So right now, more than likely, I mean, we could map out the pullback to come up to this area if we break above this supply level and then take that trade. Now, what I'm going to do is mark the further demand levels down in the lower areas. So that little demand is valid, but there is a flip. Okay, give me a sec. Let me just mark out what I need to mark out here. I need to have my bullish and my bearish scenario set up. So I would say that, you know, this is liquidity. I mean, this has not been mitigated. Let's just look and see what's going on here. I would say that the first, like, valid area to probably sell into is going to be something in this region. If that's the case, of course. Okay, let's go to the 5. Looks like we filled inefficiency here. No? Filled inefficiency, tapped in, and we've pushed down now. 5 minute supply over 1 minute demand. Well, I mean, this is, yeah, 5 minute supply zone. We've broken levels of demand on the way down. Ultimately, there's no real trade for us at this time. I'm still waiting to see what's going on. We can't take a demand trade while we're reacting to a supply zone, right? So there's two options. As I always say, man, if we break through, we create demand. We take this up to there. Okay, that's it. And if we fail to break through, we respect this supply zone and we start to break down. I'm not going to be looking for something just yet. And the reason why is because we still have this unmitigated demand. So I would be looking for a depletion of demand at this point that could technically take out supply, right? But if it doesn't and it rolls over, then very simply put, I'm looking for this to go down to here. And now we wait. Why didn't you consider the wick as the supply here? Which wick? Mark it out. You're asking about the wick? Which wick? Mark it out, annotate. I don't know which one you're talking about. If you're talking about this one over here, this is, wow. I mean, like I said, I said this right at the beginning. You could take this candle or you could refine it down to this candle. That's what we're reacting to, right? If we break above this with a closure above this structure point, then it doesn't matter because this is demand. I'm expecting lower price. I'm expecting a push down. This right here should have held. Shouldn't be buy before the sell. Depends on how you are. You like mark out where you're talking about. Ask Karush or the buy before the sell. Well, you got to refine too, right? You got to understand that. Okay, if this is the like, you can get rid of your drawing now, please. If you're looking at this buy before the sell, this went higher than this, right? So you would have to refine this down to this area. And then because this is partially taken orders from this refinement right here, you could refine down to this level, right? So that's how I see it. Okay, we've tapped into supply again. We're still in supply, right? But supply took out demand, right? So this is a tricky area to be able to consider trades until this fully breaks, right? If for whatever reason this held and we went like this and we broke this structure, I would likely look for maybe a trade like this. Wick is engulfing. Isn't it a better POI? Well, I mean, you, like I said, here, look, you can go like this, okay? Right? Or you can just refine it to this or do the entire POI. I mean, ultimately, you want this entire structure point to break, right? Personally, I would have it on this candle. If you want to have it like this, that's fine. We'll leave it like that just so we can watch it.
Excuse me, Tyson, would I be able to ask a question?
Sure.
Here to the left, do you, I mean, I have it marked out, I don't know. Do you consider this here as a POI? This here, as it broke, like this is where it all started from?
Well,
here, like,
I mean, you could, well, we should have this mapped out, I guess. Here's the thing though. I mean, if we break through the supply level that created the low, would you agree that this is more than likely going to get ran as liquidity to come up to the POI? And then you got to think about what caused these demand levels to break right here, right? This, and this, right? So this caused that to break. This caused that to break. And the absolute apex of the move is this entire POI that we're talking about. So I would be more than likely targeting something up in here for the counter trend move.
Yeah, by the way, it actually broke to the upside. So I'll,
did it?
I'll let you,
Go have a
yeah,
look.
I'll let you carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, cool. It's all good. Okay, just go like this. Okay, let's just look over. Yeah, well, that's what I'm going to look at. There's liquidity here. We could easily, it's good to mark this guy out as well. Just going to see what happens around this region. Because we're like, you got to remember too, this is counter trend, right? This is a counter trend move. This is a pullback. So there's obviously additional risk involved with all of this. So we may sweep into this and then break structure to the downside. You got to remember too, look at all of the mitigations on this pullback. You know, this area, this is not mitigated yet, but there's liquidity here. This is mitigated. Yeah, man, just sit here and wait for the criteria. Right now, I got nothing to trade. It's really boring, man. Keep this here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So guys, questions are at the end. please don't cut in. If you have questions, type them in. I have the whole chat on the side, and I can address them as necessary. Right now, this is about the process. So if you'd like to type something in, by all means, but please don't cut me off. Equals on the left, possibly go higher. Yeah, man, this could easily, here's the thing, this could easily come up into here, right? It's inevitable. But we also are generating liquidity to be able to fund the move to go down further, right? And you got to remember at this point, you know, if like this entire area is the POI, right, on the 5 minute, you got to remember what the 5 minute looks like, right? And this is partially mitigated. You think this little candle is going to hold at the origin of the move? I mean, especially counter trend at this point, if we end up breaking all of these structure points first, you think that this is going to hold? It's not likely. It's really, really, really not likely. Guys, there's 3 people in the waiting room right now. There's 100 people in here right now. I'm telling you right now, it's very easy to find out who did this. I'm going to be completely straight with you. You're going to be banned from everything. You will be blocked on all socials. And once I find the email address, which again, not very hard to do, it's never going to happen again. There's equals on the left. Apologies, I did interrupt. Okay, so at this point, I mean, technically we could look at structure here. Structure wasn't quite broken yet. There's no trade yet. That's all I'm getting at. Really, for me, there's nothing to trade yet. We're 97 in here right now. I think they went out. Let me look at my screen and see how many there are. I got 100 participants is what it says for me. Oh, 97 in the meeting. There we go. Admit all. Oops. Yeah, they're now they're coming in. Yeah, I'm working on integrating a little bit better platform to be able to host webinars and stuff like that. Potentially do it through a website. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. Right now, I'm focused on other things, but you know, these are just kind of one-off things when I feel like doing them. Boring, man. Boring price action right now. We're creating equal highs. We got liquidity built up. It's very possible that will come up, but right now, I guess the levels that we need to really mark out are the most recent demand levels. You know, this is the origin of the move that put us up into the high, right? Swept this little bit of liquidity into this demand wick down here. So again, there's just nothing to trade yet for me personally. So if we just keep these two right here, you know, we're tapping into this demand zone right here right now. That is kind of like the decisional order block. That put us into the highs over here. But again, we're still reacting to supply zone. Yes, we've wicked above it here, but we haven't broke, I guess, this structure point. Again, it's just too choppy. There's nothing clear for me to trade at this point. So just kind of waiting. Sad for the people. Oops. Everyone in the meeting. If price comes back to the closest demand you just drew, would that happen to take a trade since it doesn't, since we didn't, I would not be taking a trade off this demand. Again, this is a counter trend move to come up to here, right? So you better make sure that you have really clear price action to be able to, like, I would need, you know, basically this to kind of break. I would need probably all of this to break. Once we break above this, though, you have to remember what's going to happen. There's liquidity here. We might see a small bit of resistance, if you will, at this area. Okay, so especially counter trend. Guess what? I got to sell into, or sorry, I got to buy. Okay, if I take a buy, we need to land in between here and here, come down, tap into this, and I can only target this. I have no guarantee that that's going to go up to the POI. We could easily have enough orders resting in this very small order block to be able to break structure to the downside to cause that change of character to wipe all of this as liquidity, right? So right now, not likely to take a counter trend move with all of the unmitigated supply zones that are resting here, okay? It's gonna be a little bit of a boring morning, I can tell already, and that's a lot of the time, that's the case. So totally cool. If price comes back to the close, got it, thanks. Boring, but I learned a lot. Cool. Hopefully you guys find lots of value in this. You know, I'm just trying to keep things as transparent as possible. I don't make things more complicated than they need to be. This is just my process, right? Do you use the inside bar for SD zones? Yep, I always do. I love using the inside bar. This guy up here, well, I mean, ultimately this is in the POI, right? So this is the extreme of the move. You have to remember that this is, think about this in terms of time frames. This is 15-minute structure. This is 5-minute structure. This is 1-minute structure, okay? So this move caused this entire thing. So if we come up to the POI and we see a change of character, this is really the trade I'm hoping for, is if we see the change of character either here or here, because that's going to take us more than likely down into here. This will be my target, but I will be trailing my stop accordingly. So I will target this level as it's the next 15-minute demand level. And if your trade is based off of a 15-minute supply level, then you should be targeting the 15-minute demand, especially because we're aligned with order flow from the 15-minute time frame. Can you please explain about the ideal change of character? I will as soon as it happens. That's the whole idea of this. I'm not going to give you a bunch of examples that don't really exist right now. But ultimately, the change of character for this one was, okay, we swept liquidity. Yeah, we changed the character there. Ultimately, this entire thing was your POI. If you had an order here, you would never get filled, right? Because that's too small of an order block. You would have to kind of zoom out, read between the lines. But ultimately, this entire area right here was kind of like your order block, because this was already mitigated by this. I probably would have looked at like the 50% of this to maybe take a long into probably this guy right here, because that was the only guaranteed place that we would see any kind of area of potential resistance. So you can see, like, with all of these unmitigated zones, really, really difficult on a counter trend move to be considering swinging for the fences. We could easily take out like this is structure, right here. This is kind of like an inducement potentially. So at this point, really, you know, it would be a riskier move to take this as the break of structure right here. Personally, I need a little bit more, depending on how this, like if we went up like this and then took this out like this, then I'd be no problem. Because if we take out 2 levels of demand, more than likely we're going to be taking out the rest of them because we're aligned with higher time frame order flow. So just sitting here waiting as I do. Cool. Pretty boring. Pretty boring PA. So if this was already mitigated and this was already mitigated, I would be looking for longs with no issues, because this would have been my break, and I would have looked for longs probably in this, as this would probably be inducement. Why don't you choose the demand that has broken supply? Well, nothing really broke supply yet, right? This broke supply, but put us into this supply. So nothing really broke anything substantial, right? I'm not forcing trades, especially counter trend. I'm waiting for like, I'm looking for a better move in all fairness. Not really after little moves here. So it looks like we've swept and looks like we're going to break bits of structure on the way down here, which could potentially set us up for a short. Now, the only problem is like, again, you got to watch for liquidity. Hey, bro, when should masterclass students expect the full trading plan? Well, there's a little bit of a problem right now. I've got a bunch of money that's still on hold with PayPal. People are not doing what needs to be done in order for the funds to be released. I've sent out emails to everybody twice now, and unfortunately, until that happens, I can't send anything out. So reason being is I have one person right now that's really trying to screw me around with PayPal, saying that there was a fraudulent charge to their account. They've held tens of thousands of dollars because of it. And unfortunately, for one person's stupidity, everybody's going to pay the price right now. You will definitely get it on the first day of your actual plan, but until the funds get released, it is what it is, man. I can't do much because people are trying to reverse, or well, not people, one person is trying to reverse payments. And if that's the case and somebody else does it, they get a 20-page trading plan out of the deal, and PayPal sides with them. Well, guess what? You basically get a 30-page document for free. So I'm just kind of, I'm a little bit reluctant to send it out right this second, unfortunately. And I do apologize that everybody else is paying the price for it. But you will definitely get it on the first day of the masterclass. I'm relatively new on the trading, new to trading. One specific there. Do you close the charts no matter what at 11 a.m. New York? Yes, sir. PJS, make your own website. Yeah, well, I'm working on the website right now. I shouldn't say I'm working. I know. Yeah. Anyways, I'm in the process, man. I'm so busy with other stuff. I'm really going to try to get that done, hopefully in the next few weeks. But right now, it's just not something that's available. Crypto is an option for anybody who is interested. A few people have actually paid with crypto, but yeah, as it stands right now, you know, only so many people want to pay with it. So without PayPal pains, yeah, well, PayPal's been a bitch for me, but it is what it is. Okay, we're just building liquidity. Very corrective price action, this uptrend with little leg, def feels like it's setting up for another push downward. Yeah, well, that's the process of mitigation, right? And this is where, man, it can't be any more transparent than this. I'm sitting on my hands. I'm doing absolutely nothing. It's this is really boring, PA. Wait for something to tell you to get in. Very good. Are you going to take a trade today? Well, of course, when it shows itself, there's definitely going to be a trade available. It's just a matter of which one, right? So right now, the only one that I can see is, you know, if we break down like this, create this, which will basically take us lower, or we could potentially see a breakthrough here, see a retracement down to here, and then we can take this up to the POI and then take the short. But right now, I have no idea what is going to happen with candles up until they happen, right? So when do you would take a risk entry on the 1 minute SD, or do you always follow waiting for a change of character? Yeah, that's like, it's minor demand though. I mean, you could take this if you really wanted to take this guy, take that. But here's the thing, you would have to target this, right? And if you're, you know, doing things in accordance with how I trade specifically, there's no guarantee that will wipe out or that will come like this and then break through, right? So it's just not a play I'm really looking to get into. I mean, there's a better play that's going to come, and this is where patience really comes in. Cool, I'm happy, Neil. Yeah, just trying to It's so funny. I talk like this to myself, even when you guys aren't here. Literally just sound things out, run them through my head. It's really easy to understand the market when you just talk about it as opposed to think about it. So it's definitely a process that's really, really helped me. And it's something I'm going to go into a little bit more detail for guys like Neil who are in the, yeah, or anybody really who's in the masterclass. So. What is my favorite setup? No real favorite one. I like setups that give me clear liquidity to target. Nice clean order blocks. Yeah, man. I like whatever's tradable. There's no real favorite. I feel like that limits you to think that you can only get in on one style. I really like SD flips and DS flips, you know, supply turning into demand. If we break through, creating demand like this, I love those. But right now it looks like we're very close to potentially breaking down here. So I'm going to see what's going to happen here. It looks like we're having a really, really hard time finding demand. Now, here's the thing. This is the origin of this move, right? So, and we swept liquidity. So this is the likely order block that we're going to have to see a depletion of orders that do not take out supply to then take this to the downside. Yeah, Neil, it's a game changer. Did you, so Neil, question for you. Were you able to input the parameters that I'd sent you? You can just text here or direct if you want. Sorry to single you out, bro, but really excited for the boot camp. Yeah, Andres, it's going to be awesome. According to my 25 account, as you advised. Perfect. Cool. It's good to know that that actually worked, so that when I do put it out for all the masterclass students, it's very easy to play around with. So it looks like we're mitigating supply right now. Again, just no real trade for me at this point. I'm just waiting to see price a little bit further. At this point, structure is here. Not looking to get in before everybody else, right? We want confirmation, man. This is what's going to save you a lot of unnecessary losses. So 10 a.m. red folder news, BOC rate statement, FYI. Yeah, it's for, I believe it's for Canada though, isn't it? Let's have a look right now. Nothing to do with the pair that we're trading. I checked it this morning. That's why I ended up organizing this today. Was based off of the news that was, let me just have a look. Yeah, BOC. It's for Canadian. It's not nothing for us. Nothing to worry about. We're going to have a pretty low volume day. If you look over at you know, USD, the only folder we have is a yellow. And then at 10 a.m. we actually have one JOLTS job openings. I don't even know what that is. So that's probably when we'll see a little bit of volume. But that looks like exactly what's going to happen is we're going to trickle probably up to POIs potentially, and then we'll see volume kind of kick in to you know, prevail with the trend. Yeah, patience is key. I mean, ultimately, you know, trading is 90% sitting on your hands, man. There's not a whole lot to do. Just have your levels marked out. And just keep following price, man. Follow your criteria. You want to get rich, you want to, well, not even rich. You want to make a lot of money. Sit on your hands, watch what's going on, understand the process. It's not interesting. Cool. So we're going to break through. Here's the thing, you know, like let's say for whatever reason, we looked at this as demand right here. Well, once we break above, our risk reward is only to here, right? So it's not a good trade. It's not going to give you enough to get up to there. It might, it's possible, but for me, it's not something I'm looking at. It's a game changer to know who's in control of the market. Yeah, man, it's just about fuck, I constantly say this, but create the narrative, right? Who's in control? I mean, right now, supply is controlling the market because, you know, we've basically broken a demand level. Until this breaks, I mean, there's no trade available to come up to here, right? There's just not enough risk reward. And that's the only logical place counter trend that you could target. So sit and wait, man. Take your time. It's all good. Been taking losses when taking trades from unmitigated 1 minute supply and demand zone. So when would you look for a risk and the confirmation? Man, I would need specific examples. If they come up during the session, you know, I'll definitely go over them. But this is just a live trading session, man. This isn't a huge lesson. This is about the process of like looking for trades. This isn't about like going back and like back testing sessions are where we can tackle that kind of stuff, right? Because I can show you examples. But right now, my eyes are glued to the chart, creating the narrative, showing you guys the process. I wish I could answer that better, but there's just really no given example at this time. So I guess if I were to give an example, let's say we like smash through demand here, I would put a limit order on here. Why? Because this is all liquidity and I could take the limit order here. Now, if we tap into demand like this, which we've done, let's say this is an entire demand level, I would be waiting for the change of character or the confirmation entry because we're reacting from demand. We need to see demand fail from a supply level to be able to get more confirmation to basically prove that supply is truly in control of the market. What do we got here? If a POI unmitigated in the 15 and in the M1 is all mitigated, you consider it. Depends if it's, yeah, I mean, it's always worth considering it for sure because, yeah, I mean, if it's all efficient on the 1 minute, more often than not, it's going to get ran as liquidity, right? Because it would have to stop at somewhere on the 1 minute and reverse from it. That's kind of how I see it. You know, it's always good to just have the whole POI marked to see how you react, because if you have this marked and we all of a sudden start breaking structure, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, shit, why wouldn't you take the trades, right? I get lost on the 1 minute a lot regarding your last demand labeled. Why is the next high that broke not labeled 2? Well, this is a wick break and it's still in supply, right? This isn't, I don't really consider this a break of structure, right? I mean, you could, but ultimately we've swept, and this is considered a sweep because it's still respecting a supply level, right? The one before that, this guy right here, and why don't I consider this? Because we were in this supply. We were in this supply zone here, right? So if you're looking for, like, you're overcomplicating something here. If you were to take a trade from this level after this supply level was broken, I guess my question for you, rhetorical question, is what are you targeting? What are you looking to trade? Because the next unmitigated level is here. So it doesn't even matter what's going on in terms of breaks of structure. We're in unmitigated supply, right? We're reacting to it. We broke a structure point. No trade. There's no trade available that has high enough risk reward for me to get in. I hope that makes sense. So it's just about, don't get too lost on breaks of structure. I mean, you see breaks of structure all the time. Here, you know, like, follow what's going on in terms of supply and demand, right? So supply is here. We're reacting to supply. Supply is here. More than likely, we'll sweep equal highs, come up to here, create liquidity, and series of mitigations, right? Just wait, man. That's all it is. Thank you. Coming from structure trading, this is a bit different. I need to recalibrate the brain. Thanks again. No problem, Dave. Yeah, man, like, it's, sorry, I don't draw every single piece, but ultimately, like, we got equal highs here. We're basically creating equal highs across here. More than likely, we're going to sweep up to here, right? And that's fine. We might see the change of character, and then we might see something to be able to trade like this. Or what we might end up seeing is a pullback and then come up into here and then see the change of character. But right now, there's no high enough risk reward trade for us to get into that we can guarantee until we break above this, then we pull back. and then we could take the long into the POI and then wait for the change of character, right? That's it. It's boring, man. There's not much to trade right now. I mean, look at how rangy, like, I mean, it's not even, well, this is an entire range, right? This on a 4 hour, you know what this is, right? This entire thing is probably an inside bar. This piece of price action right here. On a 1 hour or on a 30-minute or whatever the hell it is. Let's look. Not quite. 15. Inside bar. 30. Yeah, there you go. There's the inside bar I was just talking about. It's the range, right? So right now, you know, if you look at the 30, you can see very clearly that there's a POI, right? I don't use the 30 personally, but you know, M15, we got this. Really, this entire area is where we're looking for reversals from, right? We got all kinds of inefficiency to fill here. More than likely, we're going to come up to fill it. Moving corrective up to supply. Once it's ready, there will be nothing in the way to come down. Exactly, man. Just be a little bit selective, right? In terms of like, we could reverse. Here's the thing. A lot of people forget that the only job that this supply has to do, this is like really, this is like the reaction to, like, we'll call it this demand level or whatever, very close to this demand level. All this supply has to do is take out the most recent demand for a change of character, right? Everybody thinks that it has to wipe this out. It's not the case. All we got to do is break a demand level to be able to show that this supply level is the one that controls the market, right? So, and then everything is house of cards after that because of the series of mitigations. Sorry if this is an obvious question, but what does an inside bar represent? Good question. So if you think about this, from here to right about this level right here, this entire range, okay? Would you agree that this entire range right here would fit inside this entire market structure? Yes or no? So an inside bar is a range on a lower time frame. In this case, it's on the 1 minute that fits inside the previous market structure, which is an entire candle on a higher time frame. If you look, let me just go like this. I'll mark this and this, okay? And then I'm going to circle all of this stuff. Now let's go to the 30. It's not very clear. Oh, there you go. You can see very clearly there's the range, right? Within this range, okay? It usually represents the changing of hands in the market. How much time are you using Smart Money Concepts? I think I'm about a year now, but I was using, I wouldn't say Smart Money Concepts, but I was using like Fibonacci retracements, so premium and discount. So I would have like a Fibonacci drawn from like here down to this, wait for the 61.8, wait for the 78.6, and then I'd wait for, you know, something like this, and then show me some sort of confirmation entry. And once I saw like a bearish engulfing candle, I would enter with stop loss above here. So that's how I used to trade. Same principles of premium and discount. The only difference is I was entering on momentum as opposed to changes of character with confirmation entries. So a lot of really, really similar concepts. I don't think Fibonacci's are a bad trading strategy. Actually, I developed my trading edge, believe it or not, while using Fibonacci's, and a lot of AstroFX's style was kind of revolving around that tool of the 61.8 and the 78.6 and then wait for, you know, like an engulfing candle to show momentum. And I was able to become relatively profitable with that strategy. I was only doing about 5 to 7 hour a week. And again, I was funding myself at that time. I had about a 10K, and then it moved up to about a 25K account after the crypto run in 2017 when I made some money. And, you know, 5 hour a week just wasn't quite enough to quit my job for $6,000 per month, which I was making. So retail trading sucks if you know how SMC works. Yeah, it just boils down to understanding how the market collects orders. When you start to think about the market as a machine rather than something that's out to get you, it starts to make a lot more sense, right? So just understand that it only has that one job, right? It has that job of collecting orders, and wherever the most orders are is likely where it's going to go. Again, don't complicate things that are not complicated. Okay, retail trading in 61.8, usually there are a POI. That's why it react. Yeah, possible. I don't even use fibs anymore. I use them a little bit with crypto to understand profit targets and stuff like that when we get into all-time highs, but other than that, I don't really use them too much. What is liquidity? Well, liquidity is basically everywhere in the market, right? Anytime that you have a high, right, sitting right, oops, let me get rid of that. I don't want to be using that tool. Mouse. Yeah, so anytime you have a high or a low, there's liquidity that sits below and above it, because you got to remember how many retail traders are going to trade the double bottom, and then their stop loss is going to be sitting here. So if the force of the stop losses outweighs the momentum to go up, we're going to go down here first. And then when you get into mitigations and stuff like that, where, you know, mitigated, well, guess what? There's no resting order sitting in these areas. And beyond all of that, there's orders to bring us down, right? Stop loss hunting is a very victimized term. That's kind of how retail traders, no offense, again, we've all been there, but that's kind of how retail looks at it. As a stop hunt, they think that institutions push the orders to you know, whatever, seek their stops or whatever. That's not the case. It's just the market operates in a way where it goes where the most orders are. And it's, you know, if there's liquidity and there's orders sitting here because we're waiting for a double bottom, and then we shoot up like this, more often than not, we're going to sweep this, mitigate a demand level, and then take off to the upside. And it's not because anybody's out to get you. It has to do with the simple fact that if there's more orders here than up here, we're going to go here first, then go here. I used to think the broker would stop hunting me for my little 5K account. How do you know how do we know if it is a liquidity sweep or a break of structure? Well, a liquidity sweep, good question. Liquidity, okay, double top or whatever you want to call it. If we sweep into this and mitigate this and then break structure to the downside, this is a sweep, okay? This is a sweep of these equal highs. If we break through like this and we don't mitigate something to the left, that's a break of structure. That's how I see it. Don't take it you know, for God's word by any means. This is, again, just my perspective on the market. You know, if we have equal lows here and we sweep down to mitigate, let's say, a demand level, then that's a sweep, right? But if we go like this and break structure and we don't mitigate demand and we break through this, well, the only job that this demand level had was to hold. So if we break through it and we don't mitigate another demand level, that's a break of structure. A sweep needs to mitigate something. That's, I don't know how else to say that in a simpler term. We need to break something and then mitigate something at the same time for it to be able to be a sweep. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, we're fueling up for a big move to the downside here. You know, like this is, it's gonna be awesome, man. There's like, I mean, if we can take this up from here, let's just look at risk reward just for fun. Let's say we get a 2-pip stop loss and then come down into here. Yeah, there's a 1 to 20 R sitting here once we wait for it. So, and probably have at least one scale in opportunity to probably get another nice, you know, 10R trade. Probably, yeah, again, depending, like, and again, if this doesn't happen before 11 a.m., I don't take a trade. So it just means that I won't trade. Doesn't happen very often that's available, where there's no trade available rather. But it does happen. It can happen. So don't feel like this is a waste of money otherwise. If you guys see a trade that you'd like me to analyze, by all means, you know, show me with your annotation. Happy to look over it. Personally, I don't see anything right now. There's absolutely nothing to trade at this point. Well, I mean, if we break, like, would you agree that if we break this structure point, we could like you could technically, I guess, take this, because yeah, this is all mitigated, I guess, technically. So yeah, your call. I mean, personally, I'm not too crazy interested in this, especially with the resting liquidity above right here. I think that more than likely will come up and sweep into this at the bare minimum before breaking structure. But up to you, man. Up to you. It's not a bad trade idea. It's just personally, with all of the liquidity sitting here, do you think there's more orders here or here right now? That's the question. Circle which one you think. Just kidding. Don't circle which one you think. Yeah, I mean, logically right now, I mean, in terms of the 1 minute, we have bullish order flow, right? If we break this low, here's the thing. This is a good question, okay? This is a good question. I like this. Is this demand? Yes or no? Absolutely not. It is not demand. Because demand, in order to be demand, needs to break structure, right? It needs to break supply. We haven't broken any supply yet. So if we break from here and then create this, that's your demand level, right? Don't forget to clear your drawings, guys. So here's the thing. If we start breaking down like this, because we are, I mean, technically we've mitigated, like this entire area here is your supply zone, right? If we break down to here, I got to wait for a change of character to then come to the upside. Maybe you can share colors and templates while we wait. That's a good idea, Dave. You guys want to see the colors? All the fun colors? Okay. Awesome. So double click on your chart if you guys want to have the same colors. First of all, I have a white background. Okay. This gray, 1, 2, 3, fourth one in on the right, from the right, or sorry, from the left. 40% opacity. Okay. Black, right here. 100% opacity. Borders, 100%. Black. Wicks, you can do whatever. I have them at this gray, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over, 100%. Same thing with the other one. And yeah, that's basically it. What do you know about the discount and premium zone? Yes, I do. I have this guy right here that I use. Don't use it that often. I mean, I know where 50% is. I can see it, right? Ultimately, you know, 50% is in and around this region, right? Right around. So the other thing that needs to be considered is how many people are seeing this as resistance, right? What are they going to do? Probably going to see a small sell, which is what we saw right here. And then we're going to sweep above, going into mitigate the 50% area. Whether we come here or whether we go higher is yet to be determined, but you get the idea. You got to remember where the stop losses are, right? Look at the double top. Look at this. It's pretty picture perfect. More than likely, we'll see the reaction, which is what we did here. Perfect double top. Saw the reaction. Everybody's like, fuck yes. The trade's going my way on the 1 minute. We come back up. Okay. Guess what? We'll probably do something like that. Or we come up to here. We do the same thing. Have a small double top. Come up. And then we could take maybe this trade up to here. Don't expose yourself to unnecessary risk. That's all. Doesn't make sense. It's early in the session. We're only 45 minutes in. There's nothing going on with price. It's just building liquidity. It's exactly what we want it to be doing. And that's it, man. Let's go back out to the higher time frame and just look at what's going on here. Demand's only job is to hold, right? This is the next demand level. The next demand level is down. Like we have a lot of imbalance to fill, right? So just just be mindful of all these things, right? What's going on, and you know, this is a heavily counter trend move at this point, right? So if we go to the 4 hour, just to have a look, an idea of what's going on. Like we broke 4 hour. Look at this, okay? We're retracing, okay? Demand was here, demand was here, demand was here, demand was here. Now we're coming down, right? Guess what? 4 hour order block, right? And we've reduced it down to this supply zone. Telegram bootcamp groups will be opened when I get paid by everybody and they release their funds. If not, you're going to wait till the day of, unfortunately. It's man, I'm not chasing people. I'm not going down to track people down to tell them to release the funds. I've sent 2 emails. I don't want to be buggy. If people don't want to do it, that's totally fine. But what do you do, man? Just gonna have to wait till the day of now. It's unfortunate. I wanted to do that for you guys, but until my funds are released, which is in control of the customer right now, unfortunately, with PayPal, the way that it operates, there's not much I can do. But rest assured, it'll be coming in the next couple of days, man. Whenever you start your boot camp. PayPal is a joke. I would definitely agree. It's not great. It's fucking terrible, actually. Like, look, we got daily demand here. I don't usually look at this stuff, but just because we're talking about it, at least we can have a look. Go back down to the 1 minute. The demand isn't demand until it breaks supply and vice versa. Well, the only way to, Lewis, the only way for us to signal that demand is demand is it has to take out a supply level, right? So this demand level right here has taken out this structure point at this point. So if you wanted to play mitigations and stuff like that, you could potentially take this up to here. There's liquidity resting above this. It's no joke that we'll probably rocket right into this level. We have imbalance sitting in this entire area. We may see the change of character here for the confirmation entry. Hey, bro, how can you April, can you please also share your supply and demand zone colors? Sure, no problem. Omar, give me 2 seconds, bro. Let's just go like this. Supply, this red right here, 20%. Cool, 20%, this red, that's my supply. You can save your template. Let's go over to demand. This blue here, 10%. Cool. My borders are both 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th gray in at 20% for both of them. Well, it looks like we might have a potential trade setup coming here. Yep, I'm putting an order, I think. Let's have a look at what this looks like. Well, we're coming in to mitigate part of this. Yeah, still a little bit dicey. Still a little bit dicey with this reaction. Let's go 5. See what's going on here. Look at the mitigations here, guys. Once this breaks, it's game over. It's done. There's no chance whatsoever. I'm going to be patient here. I'm going to be patient because I know how the market works, and I know that it can likely, exactly, it could likely sweep this, mitigate the 50% of this. You know, the market does tricky things sometimes. That's fine. You know, if we come up and mitigate this level right here, and then we start to break down, guess what? We'll just get the confirmation, man. Don't be stressing out. If you guys want to take this trade, go for it. I'm personally just waiting for my my go-to criteria. We got equal lows here. We break these equal lows. I'm going to be taking this. I'm going to be taking this right here. So on the MT4, if the stop loss is 2 pips, you put 2.5 exactly. So on shorts here, well, come on, man. I mean, we're counter trend. I mean, that it's a bit of a stretch to think that that's going to hold, right? The thing that might hold is here. Okay, orders are going on, boys, or considering it. We'll see how this candle closes. We're done. We're going to melt. We're going to absolutely melt. Now, here's the thing. Right now, you can put an order here if you'd like, of course. Or what you could do to just be a little bit more certain is wait to deplete these orders, come up like this, and take the demand to supply flip. Don't think that, like, we don't need to come back up here. You could put your order on, but it doesn't mean we'll go up there. So once we come into this demand zone, if and when we tap into this, guess what? The order that you have up here needs to get removed, because if we're in demand, we could break supply, right? Oh, I can't even use my MT4 properly here. I'm gonna have to do it on my phone because typically I do this on my second monitor, but I got the chat up right now for. Okay, let's go like this. Let's go like this. 0.5 pip. Personally, I would swing probably all the way down. Reason being is because we're aligned with the higher time frame. Now, I would just monitor the trade around this level with an aggressive stop loss, because if we start to break structure, to the upside, all that means is that we're going to produce a reaction a little bit higher. If I get stopped out, big deal. I'll get a better risk reward trade on this one. So. Are you going to take this trade? Well, man, I don't want to explicitly say yes or no, but ultimately this follows my rules. So read between the lines. If it follows your rules, you understand the risks involved with it, and you think it's an okay trade to take, by all means. The other thing that needs to be considered at this point is equal highs. Okay. So personally, the better setup for me is change of character, take the confirmation here, or you could potentially wait till we tap into here, produce this, and then take this. Up to you. Doesn't matter to me. Right now, I don't want to become liquidity, right? So totally up to you. You do what you think, but I'm just showing you the process in which I would consider orders. This is not a signal service, but if you think that order flow is not going to make you a part of liquidity at this point, which is almost perfect equal highs, it's totally up to you if you want to put an order on. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not telling you not to do it. Make your decision based off of everything that we've talked about this whole time. Just understand the risks involved with taking any kind of trade, right? There's going to be all kinds of opportunities to get in. Okay, so let's do this. I'm just checking the parameters on my phone right now. Full margin. Yes, sir. Okay, price. The calm before the storm. I will say this, if your heart rate is going up right now, don't take the trade. If your heart is pounding out of your chest, or you felt your heart rate go up, just wait for the confirmation entry, man. It's not worth your mental health. I can definitely attest to that. Okay, so just wait for. There's going to be all kinds of different opportunities for scale ins here. Why? Because we have this unmitigated demand. We have this unmitigated demand that we can go like this, or we can go like this. Okay. Don't worry about getting in on the first one. It's all good. There's going to be lots of opportunity. Okay. This comes with experience. Trust your gut. If you don't feel like you want to take this one, don't take it. It's all good. It's not a big thing. Just go along with the process. Okay, and then target. See, look at. So this could get ran as inducement potentially, unless it breaks demand. If it breaks demand, that means that this is the reason demand failed, right? So this would be your entry. Now, if we react to demand, we tap into demand first. We can't put limit orders here or here. Okay. Follow your rules. That's all I'm trying. Don't make things more complicated than they need to be. We're going to come down, mitigate demand more than likely. Yeah. Well, I mean, anything can happen here. We got to trade what happens, right? I have no idea what's going to happen here. We could go right through this. Okay. Like there's so many different options, but I'm going to talk you through everything that's going on as it comes. At least with how I look at things. We're expecting to see a small reaction here. Why? Because we have unmitigated demand. We missed orders. We're going to be taking, and that's exactly what's happening right here. The market is a machine. It doesn't care where your stop loss is. It doesn't care about your orders. It cares about collecting what's remaining in this area. Okay. And the reaction of what was left in this area is going to show us who's in control of the market. If we break supply, we could potentially take this up to the POI too. Now, I'm not saying we're going to do that. I'm just saying, like in simple terms, we need to see what happens here. Okay, just don't overcomplicate things. Right now, we're coming into demand, so this order is now removed. Everybody understand that? Cool. Just don't take, no need to take unnecessary risks. That's all I'm trying to say. Keep it calm. It's all good. Trust the process of, you know what? More than likely, we're going to get into a really fucking high risk reward trade here. It's very, very likely, actually. So don't get excited. Just wait for price to do its thing. If we break the 1 minute supply and head towards the place where you had your order and doesn't break, what would you do? Can you just draw out what you're talking about, please? Well, if we come up from, so look at, if we come up from demand, okay, I need a confirmation entry to be able to get in at this supply level, because it means that demand took out supply, right? So in order for this supply to hold, I need to see a change of character in the opposite direction. So here we go, demand's filled, no surprise. Okay, so that's good. Where did demand fail from? Well, it failed from here, right? Okay, so now we're looking at equal lows. We're expecting to tap into this and show a reaction, right? Y'all are panicking probably. Oh, I missed the trade. No, nobody missed the trade. We didn't have criteria yet to get into a trade. If you did, please show me, but there's nothing to get in yet. We're waiting for confirmation because we're not idiots taking limit orders on places that don't make sense yet. Okay, so right now we've come in, mitigated part of this way. So at this point, because we didn't tap into demand, you could technically have a limit order sitting here. If you're unsure of what you should be doing at this point, go up to the 5, understand what's going on. There's a huge wick right here, okay? We're more than likely not going to come up to the origin of the move. I don't think so, at least, but let's go to the 15 and see what's going on here. Yeah, so we got nothing. We got nothing in our way. We're going to be free falling very shortly. And guess what? If you miss and there's nothing available all the way through here and it doesn't meet your criteria, you know what's going to happen here? We're going to see this to then come up to the POI that we can take that trade. So just sit tight. Okay, we're only an hour into the session. What about the reaction to demand? That's not really, you can take that if you want. This is the more likely block. I mean, this is market structure. This is 1 minute structure, right? This is the one that you should be looking at if you are going to do anything. So right now, you could technically take this this trade here if you wanted to. Totally up to you. Just trying to show you the process. What about the reaction to demand? The doji candle, is it not a flip? Well, I mean, not really. I mean, this is kind of like a pause in the market. You could take it if you really wanted to, but personally, the guarantee here is that if supply is in control, it's going to be in control from market structure, right? The market structure is here. Let's just look at what this risk reward is like here. Something like that, maybe. Just measuring out risk reward, guys. Just checking it out. Again, I'm not going to be explicitly I just can't tell you take this trade or don't. I'm giving you all the criteria. You make a decision whether or not it fits in with how you like to trade. But ultimately, man, this is a choice that is yours. It is not my choice. I do not want to be responsible for you going full margin and blowing your account. Okay, so just make conscious decisions. I'm showing you the process. That's the whole point of doing these live trading sessions. So there's the mitigation, okay? And here's the thing, if you have a realistic target with these mitigations, more than likely you'll do fine, right? But now we're in demand. So if we break demand now from here, this is something you could take. Because now we've generated liquidity here, right? We've generated inducement. And if you go out to the 5-minute, you're going to want to look at what's going on here. This is an unmitigated wick. You know what I mean? We've got unmitigated top. Patient, man. I'm telling you, patience pays. Doesn't mean you couldn't take that mitigation, but personally, it becomes a little bit more risky, especially because technically we got a demand level that we're just about to tap into, right? Or that we've tapped into. As soon as we break this demand level, forget about the rest, man. We're going to go right here and we're going to take that guy. Because you got to ask yourself, what caused demand to break, right? This demand level breaks like this. This is what caused it, right? On the 1-minute. We're reacting to demand. Can't have limit orders right now. Let's go to the 5. Look here, yeah. You have to remember how much liquidity is resting here as well, right? Understand where we're going to get magnetized to next. So let's go like this. I have no orders on right now. For anybody who's curious, let's look at this. Probably take the, yeah, I'd probably take about the 50% of this. Why do I take the 50%? Because in order for me to have a 2-pip stop loss, it's the only way I can do it. So I usually just bring it into about whatever I need to become that 2-pip stop loss. We break demand, we're in, then come up and get stopped out of that trade you've marked. Then what? Is supply above still valid? The inside bar. Well, that's what you got to look at on the 5-minute, right? The higher time frame rules all. And right now, this is what the next level would be, right? So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Right now, we're reacting to demand. I mean, we're not looking to get into any kind of supply trades yet. I'm just mapping things out to understand what the risk reward is. You know, if we break down like this, well, be looking at something like this. We're still in demand. No trade available. Yoda. That's enough. This session is fire. Thank you for putting this on. Yeah, sorry, it's been a little bit boring in the first hour or so, but I mean, we'll get into a trade, no stress. I'm not going to explicitly say what I'm getting in, like I said, for very obvious reasons, but just understand the process behind what I'm trying to do here, right? And just, you know, the value is in that. It's not in taking the same trades as me. It's understanding the process of why I look at even getting into trades, right? Cool. I'm happy that it's worth it. Just gonna gonna go like this. Just look at this level right here. Type demand here as well. These aren't going to hold. We're not expecting them to hold. We've broken, you know, one level, 2 levels. We're working on the 3rd level. Like, this isn't going to hold at this point. But how precise are you to judge demand breaking? Well, ultimately, like, you know, demand didn't hold here. It did break by a very small amount. The choice is yours whether or not you want to see that as a break. Right now, there's potentially resting orders in this guy. I'm just waiting for more confirmation, man. I'm in no rush to get into something. I know how this process works. I understand that if we do something like this, we deplete this and then come like this. This is my ideal entry, the demand to supply flip. So I'm just waiting to see, man. I'm in no rush to get into a poor quality trade. I'm just looking for my criteria to get met. And my favorite setup, my go-to setups are when demand turns into supply and creates this. That's the ones I like to see. Yeah, well, sticking to your rules is like the only way that you can actually do this. There's no real secret to trading. It's actually a very simple thing to, I guess we could say, master. It just boils down to rules. If you just follow your rules, it's really hard to not be profitable in the long run. Even if your strategy is shit, if you just follow rules, I mean, ultimately, if you have a 1 to 5 risk reward ratio, you only have to be right 20% of the time to break even. So 2 pip stop loss, how big is your spread? My spreads right now are like 0.5 of a pip. So I add that on top of my sell because that's my buy order technically, right? Yeah, I'm looking at that now in Eco. I'm just seeing what it looks like on the 5 minute. Just want to see what's going on here. So we technically have, let me just look at this really quick. We do have unmitigated 5 minute demand here too, which I'm a little bit skeptical of as well. It's just barely not tapped in, which is going to be this range right here. So again, guys, just be careful. Order flow is on our side, but we've also, you got to remember, we've broken structure. We've broken structure here. We've broken structure here. So there could be a potential long setup here as well. You know, if we come down, we sweep these relatively equal lows that we're in right now, and then we start breaking structure to the upside and do something like this. Well, guess what? Now we're going to target this high. And the reason you can target this high is because it shows that these lows are strong enough to break supply levels to the upside, meaning that this high would be weak and there's resting liquidity above it. So just be patient, wait for your criteria. Right now, I've had no trades available for me. Whether or not you have is totally up to you. Sometimes get confused about break with or without wicks. Can you please explain your criteria for the cases, please? Well, like wick breaks would count if they don't mitigate a demand level, right? Look at, there's a 5 minute demand level sitting right here. The 5 minute is more powerful than the 1 minute, right? So if this comes down into here and then we break structure to the upside, there's just too much risk right now to get into something half decent. There was no entry here, right? There was no entry anywhere here. The only entry you could have potentially got in on is this small mitigation right here, okay? But because we have 2 demand levels sitting here, it becomes a little bit more difficult to get into these trades, right? So just be patient, man. I'm sorry that I wish there was more trades to take and I could tell you guys more, but I can't just sit here and tell you trades that don't really exist for my criteria. So just waiting. Here we go. Tapping into 5-minute demand. So the other thing too is like, let's say we got a reaction through this and we came up and we broke all this structure, but we get a change of character at one of these unmitigated supplies. Well, that means that supply is still in control of the market, right? Because demand needs to hold, right? Demand needs to hold throughout the entire market structure. If we end up breaking one of them at a supply level, that means that demand is not actually in control. So let's be patient. It's all good. Remember, we've broken bits of structure all the way up, right? We've broken this, we've broken this. There's a bullish scenario for this as well. Just need to see what's going on. Well, Nico, man, like I said, like, yeah, you're just, until we break, there's no conversation about this yet. We need to break. We got to break this. We got to be able to see what caused the break. Because what do we know about when we break something? Usually when we break structure, we pull back, right? So because we need to fulfill more orders that were facilitated through this inefficiency or imbalance. Okay, so just sit tight. Yeah, so your little demand level was actually this inside bar, which created the imbalance that broke structure, right? So, man, anything can happen here. Have a scenario mapped out for both situations, and just don't marry a bias. Just understand what the possibilities are at each. That's kind of where we're at right now. Okay, so now we're going to tap into this guy, which is going to be the demand level. Right? The refined demand level. See what happens. See, we're going to deplete orders, right? That's what we want to be doing, the process of mitigation. For inside bars, do you include the wick and the candle as a part of the demand, or the wick that comes lower? Well, yeah, I would include the whole candle as long as it's not partially mitigated, right? So just depends on yeah, on the 5. Well, yeah, I would well, technically the wick is where the demand is, right? Because this has already gone lower than this level right here, this this inside bar. But look at, now you're starting to see this potential of a retracement, right? So yeah, swept the liquidity, right? Mitigated demand. If demand breaks this right here, okay, demand breaks this right here, that means that demand's in control. We could take this trade and we could target the highs. Doesn't mean we're going to break them, but it means that demand is controlling the market and we can just trail our stop, right? Because on the flip side, if we take a demand trade, all of a sudden we mitigate this supply and we break structure to the downside and our stop loss is right underneath here. But what does that mean? It means that now supply is in control to take this down to here. Bottom line is, if we are in demand, you cannot take a supply trade. And if we are in supply, you cannot take a demand trade, because there's no guarantee that demand won't take out supply and vice versa. So it's a lot better to just wait for your criteria. Sometimes it doesn't happen. It's not often that I won't take a trade during a New York session, but it does happen. Swept liquidity, right? The reason why this is a sweep right now is because we are still mitigating. Look at. Oh, was it take this and refine this now down to this? We swept and mitigated demand, right? So right now, this is not a break of structure because we're mitigating demand. For whoever was asking about this, we could, like, I mean, this could very easily just cake right through this. But yeah, it just depends, right? Depends on how it reacts. Yeah, man, and that's what I mean. Like, this could easily happen. And I hope everybody understands that this is a very, very possible thing to happen is we have a bullish scenario that does not take the low, which means that this high would technically be weak. So you could target the high, but just trail your stop aggressively. And then if we start reacting to unmitigated supply and have a change of character at one of these levels, then we just take the trade to the downside on the confirmation, right? Where is my current supply level in control from? Well, probably here, right? In terms of the 1 minute. Like, that's the structure we need to break on the 1 minute to then be able to go up to the upside, right? We're creating equal lows. I mean, in all fairness, I'm expecting this to break, but we don't know that it will. See, look at. Doesn't matter if we break supply. Here's the thing. So now we got to start mapping out our unmitigated supply levels, right? Because if we're in supply, we can't take demand trades, correct? So supply is here, right? And supply is here. Depleting orders, that's right. And we've mitigated supply, right? I think we're going to roll. I think we're going to roll over here. Everybody's heart rate is raising right now, waiting in anticipation. Remember, this demand's job is to take out this supply. If it doesn't do it, Well, broke demand. So yeah, I mean, no clean setup right now, in my opinion. Not just going to take trades to get into trades, man. That's all. So as long as you got your criteria, that's what needs to be considered. About the M5 wick, I don't know where you're talking about, to be honest. So tick tock, tick tock. I apologize to anybody who came in this hoping for explicit signals, because that's obviously not what this is. I haven't taken a trade yet, for the record, so I've put orders on, but I have not taken a trade. So now it's just a matter of sitting here waiting, waiting for the criteria to be met. You could have potentially taken this mitigation here, because this is where demand produced supply, right? Depending on how you look at things. But yeah, totally up to you, right? Like this is the process. This is all I'm trying to show is the process going through exactly how I think, how I draw in my things. You know, do your own thing, right? Yeah, well, could be a good spot. Looks that way. Did anybody take this mitigation right here? Can I switch to M5 and confirm? No, I wouldn't consider the wick. I took the mitigation too, guys. I just turn on my camera here so that I can show everybody. So if you missed it, I mean, you could look at potentially this right here if you wanted to, but up to you. So I'm going to what's going on here? See, we've swept below now. Now, what you should be doing is looking at the 5, right? Understanding what may potentially need to get mitigated. We do have a 5-minute POI sitting up in this region up here, right? Yeah. I mean, there's all sorts of things that you need to consider, right? So we've swept through. Did we mitigate anything all the way over to the left? Yeah, there's nothing in here that we're expecting a reaction from. So, you know, should be pretty clear sailing at this point. But once we break structure, more often than not, you know, we tend to pull back and stuff. So just stuff to, you know, think about. Could take it if you wanted. To you. And now we wait. there's this here. That's right. So what caused demand to break, right? I got taken out at break even on this guy down here. It was a little aggressive, so I moved it right away. Could be this, yeah, could be this easily. Can you explain the trade you just said we could take if we wanted? Well, I mean, here's the thing is it's, if you're waiting, like ultimately, here's the thing you have to remember at this point, looking at the trades that are going on right now, you have to understand that we've just broken major structure. So what do we do once we break major structure? We usually pull back, right? So now you got to consider where could we pull back to, right? And the unmitigated supply levels are more than likely where we're going to pull back to. This is going to be ran as inducement. This is not going to be a valid demand level unless it takes out unmitigated supply. Cool. This is all liquidity, right? This is all process. Like this is why it's not great to take mitigations and stuff like that. Because you need to look at where market structure sits, right? And market structure beats mitigations all day. And right now, structure is sitting right in here in terms of the 1 minute. If you go to the 5 minute, you know, that's kind of where it sits as well. And then if you look at this is kind of the extreme of the move. I'm not expecting a pullback that deep, but again, it doesn't mean it can't be off the cards, right? You just need to consider these things while getting into trades and stuff. So right now, you know, we've swept above, we've probably mitigated the 5 minute POI here, and we're getting a decent reaction right now. Let's check out the 5 minute. Yeah, so look at I mean, this was already partially mitigated, but because it was a pretty big block, I would say that we've just kind of swept into it potentially. Just call it like this. So this is the block right here. Excuse me. You know, we're filling in balance maybe at this point. If you haven't gotten into a trade yet, don't panic. It's not a big deal. There's no rush. We did not break structure, in my opinion. This is not going to be a crazy demand level, I don't think. I think we came up to mitigate the imbalance that was sitting in this area personally, but time will tell. Just remember what's going on here. Look at the corrective behavior, look at the push, right? Understand the process of what's going on. What is the market doing? We're going to deplete demand orders, probably create something like this. Okay. Yeah, perfect inducement to take the supply short. Yeah, I mean, it was a good little area. You probably wouldn't have got taken into this trade here, but perfect inducement for supply. In 5 minute, we broke demand. Look. Yeah, well, we broke demand a while ago. We've we've swept now. And well, here's the thing. You can't take a trade here because supply didn't take out demand yet. So we could easily go up and mitigate further, right? You've missed a 5 minute demand zone just below the current one. Go check it out. Okay, let's go have a look. Where do you see demand that I've missed here? Could you mark it? Where's the demand zone that I missed? sorry, 5 minute supply. Okay. I mean, this one that I have drawn. This is not, this one right here. Well, yeah, here's the, go down to the 1 minute now and look at this. Would you agree that this is mostly mitigated at this point? So look at this right here. This wick right here mitigates this. This mitigates this. This is liquidity. That's exactly why we swept, right? Cool. This was the POI right here. Tapped into demand. But we're reacting from supply, right? Hey, bro, I missed the, sorry, 5 minute. Okay, cool. No other questions. Everybody understanding what I'm kind of going through here so far? Cool. Yeah, man, I'm sorry. I wish there was some better trade opportunities for us to be able to trade together, but really it's just kind of been a little bit boring, and really there's just been no real concrete criteria to be able to get into a trade. So the demand zone, there's a demand zone at 18,096. Is that not on the 5 minute? 18,096. So let's go like this. 18,096. Okay, so right here. Let's go 5 minute. Oops. Oh, 18,096. Lewis. This one? I mean, you could consider it, but here's the thing. What rules the 5 minute is the 15, right? So if you look over here and we're aligned with the higher time frame, does this look like any kind of demand, or is this more likely the demand level that created the break of all this structure? That's why I picked this one. Okay. Doesn't mean it's doesn't mean we won't see a reaction at that level on the 5 minute, but ultimately I'm not looking for anything substantial to really happen at that level. That's the only reason I didn't really pick it. Hopefully that makes some sense for you, man. Just don't have a better answer than that. It's just, it doesn't seem substantial enough, especially being aligned with the higher time frame. We've also, let's just see if this is premium and discount. Yeah, so we've tapped into the premium area of the leg. I'm expecting to see a projection down into this level right here. Cool. Start with the 15, work your way down. 15 holds more value than the 5. The 5 holds more value than the 1. The 1 hour holds more than the 15. So just yeah, use your time frames and remember which ones are more powerful than the other, right? Especially when you're aligned with the higher time frame, right? That's the main thing. Makes sense. Thanks for the clarity. What I meant is if supply breaks demand, breaks demand, but it is sat in the zone, you cannot take the supply trade. Well, that's not a demand, right? Like it is a yeah, I guess technically yes, you wouldn't be able to. So you would probably narrow that down to like a 1 minute or a potential 5 minute if you really wanted to. But ultimately, the only demand that we are really expecting to hold is going to be this one. Cool. Especially like, and this really applies when you're pro trend. And in terms of the 15 minute, which is the way that we map trends out, I at least with my strategy, everything is bearish, and it's very simple to see that more than likely the leg will get swept down into here. This price just need to tap zone to mitigate it. This is subjective. Personally, I don't care if it taps in, does the 50%, as long as it taps in, usually there's not going to be enough, or so something like this, let's say, if we've tapped in and we've ran away from it, if we don't break a demand level from supply, then there's a chance that we can come to mitigate a little bit higher, especially if this was like equal highs or something like that, and then we could maybe plummet from here. But ultimately, anytime that I see a tap into the zone, let's say 10-15%, I usually consider that to be mitigated, and it's kind of game over for that specific order block. So the chances of us coming back into a zone to collect more orders after we've already collected orders, if this didn't provide enough orders to break, why would this, right? That's how I think about it. Yeah, well, I mean, again, reacting to 5-minute supply. 5-minute supply is greater than 1 minute demand. Exactly. Just wait for the break, man. You got to remember what caused. So look at this. Okay, let's draw this out so that everybody is on the same page. We got demand here, right? Demand. This shit is all gone. We can get rid of all this now. All this. Okay. If we break this demand level from right now, this is where we would take trades from. Okay. Pretty boring stuff today, to be honest. It's not just in terms of chart work. I mean, it's just kind of it just seems a little watered down. There's not a whole lot to really take. I mean, this was the clear order block right here that the orders could have potentially be set, rested on, and you wouldn't have got tagged in probably from spreads. But now we just wait, man. You're not going to get tagged into every single one. The things aren't going to work out perfectly for you every single time, right? What made you map that supply zone more than just that last buy candle? Well, I marked this out based, yeah, there you go. I mean, here you go, guys. It's pretty clear cut what's going on here, right? Bingo. Not saying take it, but I'm also saying that's what caused it. Demand had one job. You know what the job of this demand was? This job was to take out unmitigated supply. It didn't do it. And now this supply took this demand out. Where did it take it out from? Right here. Imbalance. Do your thing. Don't matter to me if you take it or not. I'm just talking about what's going on. Doesn't mean it's going to hold either. Just telling you that that's the reason that that broke. I'm trying to, I'm speaking so cryptic because I'm the one person that's sitting in this freaking chat is going to go full margin, and for whatever reason we're going to wick this top, and they're going to blow a fucking $1,000 account, and I'll have all kinds of angry DMs. So I just don't want to I don't want to be involved with that. Just saying that this, yes or no, how's this? Yes or no, this is what caused demand to break. Has this right here already mitigated part of this? Doesn't mean I'm right. I'm just asking a question. But I mean, ultimately, demand turned into supply here, right? If we have a change of character from here, this becomes demand, right? Okay, let's do this. Yeah, it's time to say bye-bye to Euro USD. She's about to melt, in my opinion. Oh, heart rate. Well, I'm already in this trade and I'm at break even now, so I was pretty explicit, I think, with you know, what caused this to break, right? This demand level got broken from this. Demand turned into supply here. Now your stop loss can very easily be at break even because we've already mitigated all this stuff. If we go past this level, it's going to create some problems, and all it's going to do is allow us to get in at potentially up in this region on a confirmation entry, right? I have had to take my morning coffee poo for about 45 minutes now. This has been a test of patience. Oh, it's amazing, Dave. That's funny as hell. I'm not far behind you, pal. I can say that for certain. So I guess I should put my take profit level in on this trade right here, which will be at this level, which is 18022. Executing on my phone this morning, guys. I'm not using magic keys because my chat is pulled up on the second monitor. So it's kind of annoying to do, but it is what it is. Take profit will be at 1802180. I'm gonna go a little bit lower, actually a little bit higher. Probably go 18028. 8028. Holy smokes, man. What, this is annoying price action for sure. So the trade I took was right here. Anybody who does care. Magic keys don't execute my trades. I use PSC. Why that take profit? I'm just doing it just above the POI. I got caught yesterday with getting screwed around, so I just don't feel like having the same thing happen. What a son of a gun this is being, eh? Come on, baby, dump. Well, hopefully, I hope this thing just fucking plummets. It's a little frustrating to watch, to be honest. It's so finicky with this stupid little wiki behavior that's going on. Yeah, well, I'm gonna get taken out for break even here, more than likely. Oh, I actually got in a little bit higher. That's why I actually got in 18131. That's what it says. Not sure what's going on here. Joel's job data in a few minutes. Yeah, it's pretty low impact stuff though. I think this will be a break even. We will see. Where did I get in? Just looking at my, just want to see my entry price here. Yeah, my entry price is 181, or sorry, 131. Oh, it's because of spreads. That's why I didn't get taken out yet. I see. There, now I'm taken out. Now I'm taking out a break even. So it is what it is. Okay. 2 break even trades so far. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Let's go like this. Is it possible that we come up to here, or are we just mitigating this wick in this region? Let's look to the left, see what's going on. This one, that wick above the stop loss. Yeah, we might come up and mitigate. You know, we've only come into this a little wee bit. Personally, I don't take limit orders on something that's partially mitigated, but that's up to you whether or not you'd like to. You know, we have the POY sitting here as well. Just look at this here. Orange folder news in 5 minutes mentioned about the weeks at the beginning of the could potentially look at the 50% of this if you really wanted to. we're not tapping into demand right now, so. Zero nine three. Okay, let me plot that out and we'll go have a look. 8093. Here, 093. Okay, let's just go over and look. When we're aligned with the higher time frame, and this is usually like stuff I just want to really go over with the masterclass, but I will just shed a little bit of light on it right now. Yes, there's an unmitigated demand level right here, but here's the thing: like the demand level, the market structure demand level is right here, right? That's what broke. So it just makes more sense to, I mean, you could consider it if you really wanted to, but ultimately, like this doesn't break. Like this is the cause of this to break, right? So you can wait if we are reacting to that, which it looks like we are. You can wait for the chalk, right? So that you know which level is going to hold in terms of supply. I'm not in the trade. I'm not taking this trade, by the way. I'm waiting for a little bit more clarity. I've taken 2 break evens already, so. But more than likely, this is what's going to end up happening is we're going to roll over from this, right? If we want to go lower. Uh, 188. Anybody taking this? It's not a bad trade. I mean, we've broken, you can remember, we like market structure is key here, right? We've broken supply, or sorry, we've broken the demand level. The origin of that move is here, right? The only thing I don't like about this is that this was partially mitigated, right? So personally, this was the original demand to supply flip, right? At this level, so. Because this is already partially mitigated, I see this as liquidity. Doesn't mean it's going to happen that way, but I don't necessarily like taking trades like that. I like this level too. Feel like at this point this could, but here's the thing, this swept liquidity, right? So mitigated this supply level right here. We shall see. Do or die here. Again, I'm not in this trade, guys. I'm just going to run to the washroom. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Holy shit, look at the drawings everywhere. I was gone for 2 seconds. Man was in power from below, no point taking sell. What's going on here? Why is my chart all frozen up? Internet connection unstable, perfect. Yes. Just waiting for it to load, man. Drawings. Okay, let's go like this. Looks like we building liquidity, potentially sweep into this too. I mean, you guys got to remember, like we've broken 15-minute structure, right? Targeting some 1 minute mitigated or unmitigated demand level. That's not even a structure point. I mean, it's not really that relevant, right? We're not expecting it to take out substantial levels of supply, right? So right now, I would say more likely than not, we are going to melt off from here. Got liquidity built. Here's the thing: is this is now partially mitigating this. This is a pretty big order block. Oh my god, what the fuck, man! All these drawings could potentially see a reaction. We could potentially come into here. I don't think this is going to hold because this is already partially mitigated. But again, it could. This is already partially mitigated. This is already partially mitigated. I don't see all of this holding. We haven't broken market structure. Hopefully, whoever is in this trade, if they did take maybe the 50% of this, they've allowed for this wick to be in their stop loss. And if that's the case, you know, supply is, you know, in control of the market maybe from here at this point. And yeah, away we go. I mean, these are no, like, to me, these are not demand levels. But because we've already partially taken these orders, there's no inefficiency, there's no imbalance here, right? Honey packed my bags, we've lost the house. Yeah. Well, I'm at 2 break evens for today. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know that I'll get another opportunity in the next 50 or so minutes, but it's possible. Usually I don't like to trade after 10:30. Usually I only like to manage trades after 10:30 that I've been in before. So we got about 20 minutes for me to get into something. Boom. Well, equal highs, right? Sitting right there. We're reacting to this stupid little demand level. You can see that we're just grabbing liquidity, right? You can see how quick this is moving and depleting orders, right? If you would have kept your stop loss just above here, you'd still be fine if you accounted for that wick. At this point, you should be moving to where, like, if you're nervous about this, just move to break even and forget about it, right? Don't be caught taking unnecessary L's because your ego gets the best of you. Liquidity sweep. Well, when you sweep liquidity, you got to mitigate supply, right? Otherwise, it's a break of structure. But we haven't broken. We look at this with the crosshair. We haven't broken, right? We will more than likely well, not more than likely, it's potential to see a sweep into here, right? But ultimately, supply is still in control of the market. If we look at like the 15-minute to understand what's going on here, I guess technically, by my definition, this could potentially be a sweep into 1 minute mitigated or unmitigated demand. But ultimately, the higher time frame is in charge right now, right? That's what we need to remember. So there's a POI sitting here, which could potentially get met. At this point, I would suggest if you're not in a trade, you haven't taken a trade, wait for a confirmation entry on the lower time frames. It's the only way to do this properly, where you're going to not FOMO into trades. Wait for confirmation. If there's no trade available, just don't take the fucking trades. That's all. Well, I hope I get a winning trade. Fuck, man. It'll be 2 sessions in a row that I do break-even trades live, or break-even days rather. It's frustrating, but it is what it is. Check the 5 and see what's going on here. Yeah, see, we tapped into unmitigated 5-minute is potentially what's going on. However, supply is still in control from this level, so we'll see. See what happens here. Hopefully be able to get into one more trade. That'd be awesome. But this is mitigated. This is mitigated in terms of the 1 minute. If we break this, could potentially look at this, right? But this is where demand technically is probably, yeah, it has to be in this wick somewhere. And the reason I say that is because that's what broke this area right here, the structure point, right? Tricky price action today, rangy, and then didn't give us anything to kind of enter on, right? This here, was it here? Can't remember where I entered. I'll have to go back at my look at my trades on MT4. At this point, it looks like this is going to give us something. Has anybody taken any winning trades so far? Just type in the chat. If so, send some screenshots. Maybe we can all learn something. But unfortunately, I just don't really have anything great that met my criteria today in terms of winning trades. Yeah, well, that would have been the one, which was that mitigation off of the original. I guess that was this demand turning into supply. Could have taken that, but this was this is where I had my limit order sort of placed, seeing this as inducement, but ended up taking it off because we tapped into that demand. But hey, man, I'm human too. It's all good. Missed out, and it is what it is. You could have got a nice. What would that have been? If you've taken this 2.3, let's say you took the 50% of it, take this into, oops, like this, could have taken that into this 1 mitigated or 1 minute mitigated. You could have got 7%. Would have been a nice trade. But I think really you would have probably managed your stop loss maybe just above this region here, and maybe got wicked out anyways. So depending on how you manage risk, of course. Yeah, there's no long situation yet either, because ultimately supply is in control from kind of like this level that's partially mitigated, but I mean, that's your market structure level. And, you know, we've got resting liquidity that we could easily sweep into here before we could actually take something into the top POI. So because we're in bearish market structure, it makes it very difficult to take bullish trades, because we can only target these levels, right? I'm thinking we probably are going to trickle into one of these POIs. And if you decide to trade later than New York, you might get a good opportunity for a confirmation sell. Personally, I just don't care too much to trade past 10:30. If I haven't taken a trade by 10:30 in 15 minutes or 16 minutes, that's it for me. That's all. Break even day, away we go. Did 11R yesterday, and I mean, that'll finance today, I guess. I mean, moral of today is wait for confirmation, right? It's more often than not the case. I mean, let's look at the 5 and just understand what's going on again. But yeah, I mean, what caused this demand level to fail was the origin of this move right here in terms of the 5-minute, right? So, you know, if you really wanted to narrow down a 1-minute order block within that, the one that you'd look at is this, right? Look at the imbalance. We've filled the imbalance. We've broken structure. We've created equal highs. We could potentially sweep into this, but ultimately putting limits on places that you're not 100% certain of become very difficult. So you're better off taking the confirmation entry, even if it means you're not in the trade, right? Who cares? Capital preservation over everything else, right? Don't take unnecessary losses just because you're excited about getting into a trade, because the second you become excited is when mistakes start to happen, right? Excuse me. Oh, if anybody has more questions, you got the clock for the next 15 minutes. I mean, if there's no trade available in the next 15 minutes, guys, I'm going to be cutting this off. Very simply put, because again, I don't take new trades after 10:30. I only manage. So if you have any questions, by all means. Hopefully nobody blew up any accounts today. Pretty quiet. Everybody's pretty quiet. Anybody take -1 trades today or break even trades? Yeah, happens. Happens. Excuse me. I just want to see, I got to remark out my stuff here so that I can post after. So that was demand. That's right. Okay. Demand. Trade that I took was there. Okay. Was on that mitigation. Cool. And then the second one was here. Sorry, guys, I'm talking to myself. This is just something that that I do. So, like, how many people we got left in here? 99 people left. They're all pissed off. 9 people left because they they probably took L's. They're pissed off. It's all good. It happens. I took this guy right here. I guess in all fairness, now's a good time, man. If you have any suggestions for me, constructive criticism for me, do not feel, oh shit, how to get refund, how get refund, no monies from signals. No trades taken from me. Oh, I just realized there's a whole bunch of messages. Give me 2 seconds here. I took one, but on here, sorry, no trades. Fuck, I just realized there's 53 new messages. Holy shit. H4 pull discount lag. These 2 hours passed very quickly. Too much value. I think understanding the process is better than else. Price reacted to demand, that level I mentioned before. Yeah. But it failed to take out supply. Just blame the break evens on us and our distractions. Not at all, man. I would have taken these trades with or without you guys, so it doesn't really matter to Jonathan at least. Just putting that out there. These fit my criteria. Demand turns into supply. I take those trades every single time, man. That's what it boils down to. I just trade my rules and I manage accordingly, and that's always how it will be. Trading is very mechanical for me. Should have left my cells on from 1863. I mean, yeah, man, it's a process. You got to remember capital preservation over anything else. Watch now. We have a break even day, and then tomorrow when you're not live, make 50R. I usually don't make 50R days, man. Not even fucking close. So I wish I could say that that was the case, but I take like usually around 5 to 7, 5 to 10, 5 to 11 R days are typically what I get myself into. But it's because I'm super fussy with my criteria typically. So there we go. We're melting. Ching. Taking trades this morning. Nope, just 1, 2 loses. 2. Oh fuck! Sorry to hear that, Neil. That's super unfortunate, dude. But fuck, it's the name of the game. There's not much that you can really do. No trades for me. I took one on GU, just over 6 R for me. Nice, good for you, man. Took profit on that doji at the bottom. Good stuff. When do you think we will get our hands on this recording? Probably. It has to upload to YouTube. It takes a few hours to optimize. I would say probably tonight, maybe tomorrow. I don't even think I'm going to sell the recording, man. It's such a fucking hassle, and people are, they're just too much to deal with. It's exhausting for me. So will be the next live session. I don't know, to be honest with you. Next week, maybe the week after, whenever I feel like doing it, to be honest with you. I got to look at news. I got to look at all kinds of things to understand whether or not it's worth doing it in terms of news. I'm also going to have to see how busy I am with the masterclass. If that's going to take priority. So we'll see. Made $20 accidentally, paid for the lesson. Nice, minus 0.5. Not the worst thing in the world. How get refund? No monies from signals. Dave, you're cracking me up, man. No trades taken for me. I win, but have 1 loss, 1 break even, 2 losses, minus 2%. 2%. Good learning. Good. It's all about process, right? That's what this whole thing is about. That's the whole reason I do these, is to kind of show everybody the process as opposed to giving explicit signals. So do you think we can use your strategy to trade H1 or H4? There's no reason you couldn't. You just correlate your time frames. If you're using H4, H1, and M15 for your entry, I think it would be no problem, or daily H4 and 1 hour. I don't think it'd be a problem at all. 2 break even, but micro lots used because only need 2 more trading days on my to form a pass. Thanks to Tyson the GOAT. Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate that, bro. Why isn't the supply zone at the top considered the origin of the move that broke the 15-minute demand? I'll go to that in a second. Do you think London works differently with your style of trading? Not necessarily. I do know that it tends to sweep liquidity on both sides. Okay, guys, easy on the charts, man. I'm trying to analyze too while doing all this. Clear these. Okay. PJ. Cool. So at this point, supplies and control the market from this candle, right? So, we've broken structure here. That's the point that swept liquidity, right, on these equal highs and then created these equal highs. We're now reacting to, well, this is pretty well mitigated at this point. It needs to take out supply in order for it to be valid. This is already partially mitigated, so it's not going to really hold too much value. This is likely going to get ran as inducement. This is kind of the POI I would be considering if you want to get into a trade. I got 6 minutes before I quit trading for the day because I'm not in anything right now. So up to you if you want to look at this. This is a decent area to be looking for trades, in my opinion. But just be mindful of these little demand areas and whether or not you want to take the risk with them. So totally up to you. But just keep in mind, demand failed to take out supply, right? We didn't break structure. Depends on how you see things, right? Where do we get the recording? I'll be emailing this out to everybody. Be probably later on today. Would you consider doing a subscription service for the live trading example, like 1 to 2 times per week? Honestly, I just don't want to commit to that much time. In all fairness, it does create some challenges for me. And I think this is more on a subconscious level. And the reason I say that is because I'm trying to show you guys actual trade opportunities. And I think when you do that, you're trying to show more opportunities than are necessarily available. And it's because I want you guys to feel like you're getting more out of it than just understanding how I think. And obviously, yeah, it's just, I don't want to commit to a subscription service. What I will do is what I will do is I'll let you know 24 hours before the next event, which I always do, but it'll be no more than once per week. It'll always be $20. It may go up in the new year, it may go up, like I said, maybe in the new year, but right now $20 is kind of where I'm at. If the haters, man, keep doing what you're doing, I will always continue doing what I'm doing, man. I honestly just don't. I wish I could care enough to really care what these kinds of people think. I just don't have the bandwidth. I just don't care. I can't even fathom caring about it. So not a big deal. I'm just answering question, PJ. I notice sometimes you go to break even extremely fast and not necessarily after the boss. What guides those decisions? So because we've broken structure, you have to remember, if we've broken major structure and you're taking trades to basically trade into here, once we break structure, more than likely we pull back. So I'm a little bit more aggressive with my stop loss. And the reason I do that is because if we do exactly what we did today and pull back directly after we've kind of broken these structure points, if I don't see it falling and basically running liquidity that's underneath this, it shows me very quickly that obviously there might be something to the left that I've missed, and I just basically mitigate risk, right? Take profits off the table, or just move over to break even, or 1 pip into break even to take a little bit off the table. And the reason is because I'm very aware of where POIs are. I'm very aware of understanding that once we break structure, more often than not, we pull back. So it's just about understanding really what the market's telling you. And if you see that you're not breaking through and just melting off where you're expecting to melt off from, more than likely, like I said, on the left-hand side, there's more than likely something that you've missed. You don't need to go back and necessarily look and see what it is and panic. Just move your stop loss to break even and take that hit and understand that the order flow is still going to more than likely continue, and then just look for confirmation entries to get in on better risk reward trades instead of taking unnecessary losses. Every time I move to break even, it's usually for different reasons. The reason today was because we weren't reacting the way that I was expecting to react. Once we broke this structure point right here, and I saw this nice inefficiency, I got in up here. I was expecting this to hold, right? So if I'm expecting this to hold, then that tells me that I can move to break even. On this one right here, we tapped in, we pushed down, and I saw all this wicky behavior. Well, move it to break even. Why? Very simply put, if we're wicking into something here, more than likely there's something that I've missed on the left, which is exactly what happened today. So, man, just know that it's very possible for me to make mistakes too. Not mistakes, but just miss a minor detail. And as soon as you see this kind of behavior when you're expecting a free fall, well, that means just move to break even. Hopefully that makes sense for everybody. I'm not really, it's 10:29. I'm not looking at any trades at this point. I'm just going to answer some questions that are typed in here. I don't have a YouTube channel. I have a private YouTube channel. If change of character doesn't take out unmitigated supply, it's not demand. What do you mean by that? If change of character doesn't take out unmitigated supply, then it's not demand. Well, I mean, demand's only job from here was to take out this unmitigated supply level, right? Or partially unmitigated supply level. So this market structure point, if we would have broke above market structure, that tells us that there's demand in this region. So now look at everything that I was expecting to fucking happen is going to end up happening, son of a gun. And we're probably going to free fall down into this region. So it is what it is. I'd be looking for trades here. Oh, 10:30. Do I just do it? No, I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it because it's part of my rules. I can't take them now. So, but this is a beautiful, beautiful setup right here. As long as we don't tap into this first, which in all fairness, could happen very quickly. Guys, quit vandalizing the recording. Learned so much from you, bro. Really appreciate it. I don't have any questions. Just want to make a moment and say thank you for this is very beneficial. I appreciate this so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. When you let me just look here. I have to shoot, man. Thanks again for tonight. It's been great. How do we get the recording of the session? So the recording will be emailed out to everybody in the next, well, I don't know, a few hours kind of thing, probably by later on tonight. And I'm sorry, maybe I lose your answer. Can you use the same strategy on higher time frame? Yes, you can. But therefore, supply still takes over the market. Why is the new supply zone there instead of the candle before? Oh my goodness. And still in this trade. Hopefully I can pass the FT with this using this trade. Yeah, Neil, I think you're good to go, bro. I hope this was really helpful for you, man. I've been thinking about you this entire time I've been doing this session, trying to be very discretionary on what trades to take because I know how important this is for you, buddy. I've been really trying to you know, keep you at the forefront of how I'm making decisions here, man. And I mean that very seriously. So I really wish you the best, and I'm pretty sure you passed your FT, your funding talent today, man. If you haven't, Neil, a little word of advice. You know what? Take your fucking profits off the table right now, bro. Take them off. Close out this trade, man. This is a beautiful trade. Can you show what candle that TP is based off of? This is based off the 15-minute. You can go over and have a look yourself, or I'll just zoom out. But yeah, Neil, man, just do yourself a favor, close this trade out. Tomorrow's another day. We're almost at the POY. We don't need to respect it. We could just reverse from here very quickly. So take your profits off the table, man. Enjoy it. Yeah, man, great trade, great trade. Can you show the candle that the TP? Yes. So let's have a look over here, 15-minute. My internet connection's a little bit shoddy today. I'm really sorry about that. So it's this guy right over here. That's the one that caused the break. It's the original move that also swept liquidity, right? Tapped into the block, left an imbalance, broke this structure, broke this structure, and broke this structure. So this is one that I'm expecting a pretty large reaction from. When it comes to set a limit order after an SD flip or DS flip, do you usually take the decision order block? What caused the break? So this is a good question. So this this all ties in with Omar. Okay, when it comes to setting a limit order on an SD or DS flip, you usually take the decisional, which caused the breakup to the supply demand, or the unmitigated extreme of the 1 minute. So it depends on what you're targeting. If you have a realistic expectation in terms of, okay, I'm targeting the next 1 minute unmitigated supply or demand zone, well, then you can take the decisional and usually you'll hit that level, right? But then when we hit that TP, more than likely we can now come out to the extreme of the move, mitigate that, and then move further down. So it's all about, like, you can take these trades, but if you want to swing for larger trades, it's always better to look at the extremes. But if you're looking to just take the quick 5R, 4R, 6R, 7R trades, then it's great to basically take the extreme, or sorry, take the decisional. Hopefully that makes sense for you, Omar. It's all about your risk reward. It's all about what your expectation is to be able to take profits. Thanks, bro. Was quality. Off to bed now, 12:34 a.m. See you later, Mike. We'll catch you soon, man. I've sent you a message back too on Instagram, Mike. So check that out. Thank you for showing us that 15-minute demand. I mean, you can see the precision here, right? It's tapping in. More than likely, we're going to see a decent rally from this point. Whether or not we will take out equal highs is yet to be determined, but yeah, man, that's pretty well it for today. I mean, 2 break-even trades for me. It is what it is. I mean, I couldn't care less, to be honest with you. Wrote it down from 18,178, 18,178. Fantastic, man. Beautiful, beautiful trade. Hard to beat that. I mean, my trade idea, the whole idea was based off of this level, right? And it just came through. It's just a matter of following your criteria to get to it. So it is what it is, man. You know, I was expecting it to roll over from here. Move to break even, got taken out. My criteria didn't get really met. There was no clear order block for me to take a sell from. So what do? So you win some, you lose some. It's the name of the game, man. I didn't want to take this because it was partially mitigated. I don't like doing that. That's just part of my rules. It is what it is. Thanks for the session. You guys are very welcome. I'm hoping everybody liked it. I know that there was some wishy-washy trades and stuff like that, and some pretty quick moves to break even. But hey, man, this is full transparency. This is exactly what just happened, and it is what it is. I sent you a screenshot of my trade on IG. Amazing. I'll have a look at that in a few minutes, Neil. Rush it. So the lot size was risked about 3.3%. Perfect. Thanks for the stream and all. Does anybody have a recommended apps and sites to quickly determine the lot size? So you can go over to this one. It's let me just go like this. And this is it's called MyFXBook. I like using this. I'll put this copy. So there's I've just sent the link in for everyone. You can go check that out if you need position size calculator. That was my go-to for a long time, but now I use Magic Keys and it does everything for me. I would highly recommend getting the on-screen version of Magic Keys. And yeah, anybody who signs up for a masterclass gets all of my parameters for Magic Keys as well, so that you can trade the same parameters as me when we do live trading sessions and stuff like that. So Magic Keys is awesome. How much is the software? It's like $29. It's super, super cheap. Magic Keys, I think it's 29 or 39. We'll go over to it right now and have a look. Shipping delays, blah, blah, blah. Oops. 165. So that's for the hardware one. I don't know where the software one is. On-screen version right here. $29. Well worth it. I think it's better than the I've not used a buddy's, but I have a buddy who has one where I played around with it a little wee bit just on a demo. But I like this one better because you can click and drag all your parameters too. It's fantastic. I love it. PSC is free for anyone interested. Cool. Feel free to post the link, man. Yeah, I saw the on screen. I got it there, Neil. Thank you. Listen, guys, it's 10:38. Yeah, I mean, I'm done. I mean, I took 2 break evens, and that's the way she goes. And I'm finished for the day. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Again, if there's any critiquing, any kind of constructive criticism, things that you maybe want to see a little bit more from it in the future, just shoot me a DM, man. I'm open to constructive criticism. I'm just trying to make this the best I possibly can for everybody, without explicitly giving signals to people that might be new to the channel and stuff like that, that sign up with the intention of only getting paid signals. As most of you know, that's obviously not the service that I'm trying to provide. I'm trying to give you the thought process behind how I rationalize trade ideas, right? So just feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'll get back to you. Happy to do this in any way that's going to benefit anybody else, and also just live in congruence with what I value as being a trader. So let me just see if there's any other. So will you be able to send us the link for MT4 on Mac for Magic Keys for MC students? So basically, you have to download Parallels. You have to run. If you're on Mac, you have to run Parallels for Windows 10. Just look up Windows 10 for Mac. It's going to pull up. You're going to have to download Parallels. I believe it's $100 for the license for the year for Parallels to get the good one. That's what I have. And then from there, Magic Keys only works with Windows. So even if you have the Mac operating system for the MT4, it won't actually work. You need to have the Windows version so that the on-screen Magic Keys or the hardware Magic Keys can work. Excited for the Friday masterclass. Yeah, man, Neil, it's coming. Wish I can get this trading plan out a little bit sooner for you guys, but you know, I've got people that are just slacking on pushing through the payments. I would say 90% of you have done it, and unfortunately, that remaining 5% is hanging me up because I don't want to send a one without the other. So unfortunately, you guys are all in the same boat right now. Worst case scenario, you guys are going to get it on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday when the first masterclass kicks off. So it is what it is. Don't stress too much. It's coming. We've got all kinds of time together over the next 6 weeks, and we're just going to crush. See you Saturday masterclass. See you then, man. Okay, guys. Well, listen, thank you. Thanks again for joining in. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be uploading this on the stream in the next couple hours or so. It'll get released. If it's not released tonight, you know, don't hound me in my DMs, please. It'll get released tomorrow or something like that. But the intention is to get this across to everybody tonight. But if it's not out, just don't panic. It'll be out tomorrow. You guys know I'm really good about being punctual for the most part. So you know, cut me some slack. I do a lot of shit for you guys, and I'm just trying to also juggle my life and shit as well. So anyways, we'll catch you guys later. Thank you again for joining in. I'm signing out right now, and yeah, man, just feel free to shoot me messages at any time to see what it is I can help with. Take care.